a draw-based lottery. In comparison, you buy a ticket on Monday, then you have to wait till Saturday, or in our case, till Thursday evening, and then you know the result.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Millionaire Podcast. With us, I have a lottery expert, Mr. Raffle Martin, with 30 years of experience in the industry. He's one of the only 3 lotto game designers in the world, and he's here with us to share insights about Millionaire and the green initiative behind it, Oasis Park. Welcome, Mr. Ralph.
Thanks for having me here, and I always enjoy being here. We had so many podcasts in the past, and hopefully so many to come. And I'm always happy to answer these questions. I mean, you are having, or our viewers, or buyers, or customers, or everybody who is watching this podcast or participating in Millionaire or Oasis Park, even engagement in Oasis Park, like the Green Initiative, or anyone else who is like interested in the lottery industry. Yeah. Because our questions are not just based on Millionaire, it's always like for the industry.
And it's very interesting questions. I mean, just through the podcast series, right, there's so much to learn. There's so much information that you get. And yeah, it's pretty interesting to have this whole segment of questions. And today's question of the day is, what are the different types of lotteries?
Well, first of all, we have to define the lottery, which is like... again, different to the gambling industry in general. So when we are focusing on lottery types, then there are like just a few differences, I would say. And let's go through these ideas of what lottery is about. So when the types of lotteries, I would say like starts with like the draw-based lotteries, let's say. Draw-based lotteries is always something what people probably know most. You pick numbers, and then you have a draw, and then you're matching the numbers. And depending how many correct numbers you choose, then you win like a bigger prize or even a smaller prize. But that's basically draw-based lotteries. Now, it's really important to understand that for credibility, it's always good to have a live draw. And this is exactly what we do. I mean, we are, as far as I know, we are the only live draw in the Middle East.
Correct.
And lucky enough, you are the host of the show. But obviously today we have like modern technologies like the RNGs, stands for Random Number Generator. So it's a computer-based program that is selecting numbers in the background. You don't see it, but it's credible, I would say, as long as you have a credible programmer. But the live draw is always like better because, I mean, nobody can manipulate it.
Yeah, most importantly.
Right.
Manipulate it.
So the people love to watch it, and you see the outcome right away, and you're always saying like, I missed the first number, but I can still have like 6 other numbers. So I still can have like the second prize or the third prize or whatever it is. So the draw-based lottery games is the most common, I would say. And then like you have like also like we call it instant games.
Okay.
That are some kind of lottery effect where you have scratch cards, for example, and most of the time you buy the scratch cards in an outlet like a kiosk or the gas station, and then it's called instant game because you take the card, it already says if you are a winner or not. You don't see it because, I mean, obviously the fields are covered, but then you take a coin and you scratch it, and then you see like, oh yes, I did win or I didn't. These instant games usually do not have these major jackpots.
Okay.
Right? But it's fun because it's, as I said, I mean, you buy it and you know it, the result. A draw-based lottery in comparison, you buy a ticket on Monday, then you have to wait till Saturday, or in our case, till Thursday evening, and then you know the result, right? So this is like so these kind of games are very common actually, and I mean, it's fun to have these, you know, like with different topics, even like yeah, and it's worldwide. Actually, it's worldwide. I would say like having these kind of scratch cards.
And it's also interesting to not have like a complete online lottery where there's no host, there's just a random
Yeah,
number generator.
but the instant games are very credible because I mean you see the result and you know nobody can manipulate it. I mean you buy the card, right, and or the ticket, and then you see what happened. So this is like one thing. Then even in this kind of games, you can have like the cards where you know like a certain percentage is like winning cards for certain prices, and there are other cards, you know, like from companies where you have to choose the right fields. I mean, you have like 25 fields, you know, like you are supposed to scratch 5. If you win, if you find the winning logo, then you win. And if you don't, or if you scratch 6, then it's void. Or if you miss 1, then you don't get anything. So these are like also like fun cards, but with these cards, they are very often used for promotions, by the way. These cards are amazing because you know, oh, it's a winning card. It's a winning card. It's just up to me to find the right squares or to scratch the right fields. Again, instant games. Now, another game, for example, is Keno.
Keno.
Yeah, Keno. And, you know, like we have bingo and Keno. I don't know if people are familiar with the Keno.
No, I haven't
game.
heard about Keno.
Okay. So the Keno is probably the oldest game when it comes to history, because even the Chinese were already using these Keno games for government reasons to fund the Great Wall, for example, or other projects the government wanted to have. So it's thousands of years old, right? And Keno is like an interesting game because what you do is like you pick again, you are active. You pick like 20 numbers. I mean, the standard game is usually 20 numbers out of 80. And then you're betting a certain amount on you know, on the outcome. And then you like somebody picks, or also maybe in a live draw, I mean, somebody picks 20 numbers. And depending how many numbers you match out of these 20, that's then you get a prize or a multiplier on the prize. So that's really interesting because I mean it's you know like it's huge. I mean 80 numbers is huge and 20 numbers is to pick 20 numbers. But again, somebody's only selecting 20 numbers. When and bingo, for example, you know, I mean, you see this sometimes on TV when the old people are playing bingo, right? But it's not just for the old. But there you get like a grid with like most of the time it's 5 by 5, you know, like, and the numbers up to 100, for example, is like printed randomly on these grids, and then somebody is announcing a number one by one, you know, and then, you know, like, I mean, as soon as you have like one line correct, you are the ones saying like bingo, and then you are the winner. So the first one who has it correct is winning the prize. So it's a little bit different. Keno has more like the lottery aspect where you are choosing numbers. So it's and somebody else is like matching the numbers.
And what about the Super Bowl? Where would you categorize that as?
Well, the Super Bowl or Powerball is like more in it's basically it's based in this draw-based lotteries. Okay, then you have like these smaller lotteries where you have like the pick 3 or pick 5 or whatever. It's a fast game, so usually it's offered like for daily purposes.
Okay.
It's usually very cheap when you participate, but the prize you can win is very limited. So sometimes it's just like $100 or like or $1,000 or maybe $5,000, equivalent to, let's say, 500 dirhams or getting like 20,000 or something like that. So, but it's very limited. The first draw-based lotteries usually they are up to billions. I mean, the Powerball, for example, is like exceeds sometimes the $1 billion jackpot.
Oh.
And this brings me to the jackpot stuff where you have like progressive jackpots. Yeah, that means like in a lottery you don't have necessarily a winner.
Okay.
Because sometimes, I mean, obviously nobody picks the right numbers. So you have like maybe a second prize winner or third prize winners, but you don't have the jackpot really.
Prize, yeah.
So then the jackpot goes up. And it goes up and up and up. And then some lotteries, since we're talking about the different types, have like a rollover.
Okay.
And that means like the jackpot prize, after maybe you have like 20 draws and nobody's winning, is going to the second prize. So then, even so you don't have the jackpot, you're lucky because, I mean, it's split between all the second prizes.
Nice.
Some lotteries just stop, like at a certain amount, and then the jackpot stays this way. This is, for example, like what Millionaire is doing, by the way. Yeah. So the jackpot starts with 50 million dirhams and it goes up to 100. There is an option of doubling the jackpot, so you can win up to 200 million. But then it goes up to 100. It stays at 100 million dirhams until somebody's winning, and then it drops down to 50 and starts again. So, and every time there is like 500,000 dirhams is added to the draw. Yeah, this is also interesting because then we have like all the other stuff, which is very common, for example, in the Middle East, the Raffle draws.
Is that a type of lottery, Raffle draws?
Yes, it is. Even so, people don't understand it. A Raffle draw is a lottery, and in the industry, we call this a passive lottery. Okay. Compared to lotteries like Keno and the draw-based lotteries, where we say it's an active lottery, because you, as a ticket buyer, you can choose your numbers, for example. And with a Raffle draw, you cannot choose your numbers. You just buy a Raffle draw ticket. Now, the difference in a Raffle draw is always each draw generates a winner. It's a lottery because the odds of winning are based on the lottery tickets, on the Raffle draw tickets you are selling. So if you are saying, for example, you just bringing an example I've seen on the street, like some exchange services are saying you do a transaction and you get a Raffle draw ticket. I mean, they are generating in this promotion period hundreds of millions of transactions. So if it's 100 million transactions, then your chance to win, even so there's a winner, there is 100% a winner, but even so, I mean, your chance of winning is 1 out of 100 million. Compared to other lotteries where you have like a lucky 7, the chances of winning is like 1 out of 10, or in this case 1 out of 100 million. If you are playing, for example, Millionaire, where it's like 7 out of 44, then the chances are 1 out of 39 million roundabout. So, I mean, your chances of winning an active lottery where you have to match the numbers is a lot better than in these cases where you say like, oh yeah, but there's a winner. Yeah, but it's not you, because I mean the chances are so low. Even so, again, there is a guaranteed winner. And Raffle draws are really common here in the area, and a lot of times for promotions, like going to the shopping malls. I mean, you shop like, and they force you, by the way, they force you to buy something. It's not even for free, right?
Participate in it.
So you spend 350 in the shopping mall, and so that's a little bit interesting because I mean people say like, oh yeah, it's allowed, and but at the end of the day, it's a pure lottery, right? They force you to do something you don't want to do just to get the lottery ticket. Even so, it's called. I mean, the lottery ticket in this case is a raffle draw ticket. Okay, then we have like sports lotteries, let's say sports and betting lotteries. It's also if you bet on these outcomes, like of sports events, that is kind of lottery, right? I mean, people say like it's more like skill based because maybe you know a little bit better what kind of horse it is, or you know a little bit better what kind of soccer club it is or whatever. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's more like pure luck, especially when it comes to predict the whole league. I mean, the whole weekend, all the games of a certain league, right? But it's interesting. And today, for example, we have these fantasy leagues as well, where like computer generate the outcome. And that's, like it's not even the real games. But if like looking at different markets, then in Africa, where the lottery game as we know it with the draw-based games is not very developed, but the betting is very common there. And then, like, I mean, we have like, when we talk about lotteries in general and the draw-based lottery, what we mentioned at the beginning, most of the lotteries are national lotteries, and it's regulated. It's so I mean, and this is also important that these games are regulated. But then there are like additional lotteries, which it's called like social or charity lotteries. Now the charity lotteries, the main focus is generating money and giving it to good causes. So even so, lotteries usually give like money to good causes and billions of dollars, by the way. This charity main focus is for this charity event. So they're giving more money than usually a normal lottery would do. And that's why it's also important sometimes for countries to offer special causes to have this social stuff. I mean, if you want to finance, let's say, a new kindergarten, you can do like in your community create a charity lottery where people are buying a ticket, but the main money is not going to the winner. The winners are getting something, of course. The main money is going to this good cause of funding a kindergarten, for example. So that's also like an interesting thing. And then today, of course, we have like all these online lotteries, right? Now with the online lotteries, I mean, everybody can do it, I would say. And you see like so many, let's say like, problems in online because you do not know, is this a real lottery? Is this just scam? What do they do? So it's very important to look at these lotteries. And obviously today everybody has to be online, by the way. I mean, even the old established lotteries are online. You can buy online tickets. Even so, you can go to a kiosk and buy the ticket. But the online is taking over. Everybody has a smartphone. Everybody has a laptop. But online, when it comes to us, for example, you know that we are having like a live draw, so people can see that. We are having a license, very important. Check it out. I mean, if the people are registered, and like and I know that Millionaire, you can click on this on the license, and then you directly go to the government to the like to see that Millionaire is registered and supervised. I mean, so you have to provide basically the authority with the basic information every week. So it's very important to make sure that when you play an online lottery, that it's real and it's not scam. Because I mean, you will never win, and somebody's running away with your money.
You don't want that.
Yeah. So, and last but not least is like I would say like called like multi-state or multinational lotteries. If you look in this thing, you have like the like Euro Millions, for example, or even the Powerball in the US. The Euro Millions is like all the governments are doing, or a lot of countries are doing this together, while the Powerball, for example, is based in the US, but the US usually has like every state has its own lottery, but this lottery is national. It's like nationwide. That means like a lot of states participating in this. And then if you look at this category, I mean, then Oh Millionaire is one of these international, let's say, multi-state lotteries, because I mean we are offering this green lottery, like not just in a particular country. People from all over the world can participate. Even so, we are more or less like focused on the Middle East and GCC countries, since we are planting or engaged in this charity, let's say, social cause, like planting trees with the Oasis Park, right? And we want to have like people from all the countries that are like supporting this engagement for fighting global warming. That's the main reason for Oh Millionaire. But you see, like, I mean, we just covered, I don't know, like 8, 9, or 10 different categories.
A lot of different types of lotteries.
So it sounds like a very simple topic, but I mean, there are so different things, you know, like, and to watch and to see and to understand. Yeah, that's all I have to say for today,
Well,
I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty interesting. Well, there you have it. These are the different types of lotteries in pretty much in detail. If you have any other questions, feel free to write to us. Till then, stay tuned for another episode of the Oh Millionaire Podcast.
Thank you very much, Maradona. And again, you can't win if you don't play.